Hello everyone, welcome to my 10th video. In this video we shall look into delimiters. Okay, so delimiters are used actually in scanf function while taking the input from the keyboard. So these are a few delimiters you can see. So first I'll start with this one, this format. You can see this there are 3% D and they are apart by tab or more than a tab. So let's get started. Okay, so to start with first what I'll do is I'll start with how you can take multiple inputs from the keyboard, more than one input from the keyboard. So for that I'll just take, suppose, integer I and j, and I'll take one float variable as f. Okay, now one float number. Okay, now I'll collect those. Okay, I'll collect those inputs I and then ampersand j. This is address of operator in the address of those particular variables, and then I'll now print them back into the you entered, then percent %d. Okay, let me see it, percent %d, then percent %f. Okay, and I'll use I, j and f. Okay, you can look at the program. What I have done is I have first declared two integer variables and one float variables. Okay, and this one will be percent %f. Okay, so then I prompted something like enter two integers and one float number. Okay, then scanf, I have collected these three inputs from the keyboard. Here I'll collect the three inputs from my keyboard, and then I'll just print them back into my console. Okay, so this is I, j and f. So I'll make them compact, like without any space in between them, and let me see what happens. Now I'll save this. I'll save it from my keyboard by pressing Ctrl S. Okay, now I'll build my program. I can build it by pressing the F11 key from my keyboard. So let me do it, and you can see the build is successful. Okay, now I'll run my program by pressing F6 from my keyboard. Okay, and you can see it is prompting me to enter two integers and one float number. So I'll do the same. I'll make it as 23, then enter, then suppose 12, then enter, then 45 and enter. And you can see actually it printed, but the fact is that you can see you entered 23, then 12, then 45.06 zeros after the decimal point. So actually it displayed all of them without any space between these three numbers. So what I'll do is I'll also provide space here. Okay, I'll provide space here, and now I shall save it and I'll again build it, and now I'll run it and see what happens. Okay, I'll provide two integers like 25, then 65, then 45.21, and let me see what happens. Now you can see it has actually displayed first 25, then 65, then 45.209999. Okay, so that is it. Now the fact is that you can see here this scanf. Actually, scanf, what I did is, every time I entered one input from my keyboard, I pressed enter key. For example, after I put this 25, then I pressed enter, and then I typed this 65, then again I pressed enter, and actually this enter or new line character is nothing but it works like a delimiter, okay, or a separator. So instead, this is a default delimiter in case of scanf. So what I can do is, I can also use space in between, and show you how it happens. Actually, I can write like this, space in between, one space in between these multiple inputs. So what I'll do is, I'll take this one, all these, I, J and K. I'll not take this one for the simplicity, nothing else. You can do it with the float also, there is no problem. So 3 integers, this is K, and you write it back with the help of %d and write it here like K. Now you can see this is absolutely fine. What I have done is, I have given only one space between these format specifier in my scanf function. So now let me save it, then compile it, and then run it by pressing F6. Okay, now enter 3 integers. I'll write 23, 25 and 65. Okay, this is one way that I can press enter, because enter is the default delimiter. I'll again run it. I just forget actually, 23, then I'll provide one space, 35 space like 48, and then press. Now you can see actually it is showing me the same input. Okay, so now I can also use this tab key from my keyboard here as a delimiter, like tab key. I have provided 2 tabs, and here suppose I provide 1 tab and 2 tabs, and then 2, 3, like multiple spaces, and let me see how it works, or whether it works or not. Okay, then I'll build it. I'll now run it, and I can actually do it in many different ways by providing like enter 54, then 36. You can see it is providing the input. Now I'll run it again, and like I provide 36, then space, then 45, then space, then 56, and it works absolutely fine. I'll run it once again. What I'll do is, I'll 2, 3, 5, then I'll provide 2 tabs or 2 tabs, and then you can actually provide it in many different ways. It consider the tab as a delimiter, so you can then provide 1 space, then tab, 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 like this, then 5, 6, 8 suppose. Okay, then I'll press enter, and now you can see here also it is working absolutely fine. Okay, there are some more ways actually that you can use these delimiters. Okay, use this delimiters. How you can do it? Okay, you can use this colon also, colon. So if you use colon, in that case you have to remember that while you provide the input, you also have to use this colon symbol. Okay, so let me just save it, and now build it, now run it. So enter 3 integers. I'll provide it like 14, then colon, then 23, then colon, then 56. I have to match the pattern that I have I have done in this scanf, inside this scanf function. Okay, I have to follow the same pattern that is here. So I'll press now enter, and you can see here also it is taking the input. So there is one more delimiter. For example, you can use comma also. Okay, so I'll just see how it works with the comma. I'll now save it, I'll now build it, and now I'll run it. Okay, so you can see, so I'll like 25, then comma, then 56, then comma, then 47. Okay, and you can see it is working absolutely fine. Okay, so that's all. Thank you. In the next video I'll talk about a bit more about these delimiters. Okay, thank you.